What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new CBR. Wow, I already posted the full video for this one, but it's a brand new race recap for CBR number 4, the 2-3 Cat 2-3 race. Very interesting race. That's why I wanted to bring it to you guys a little bit late, but nonetheless, still wanted to recap it, make sure that you guys are all caught up on the CBR madness. Yeah, this race was pretty chaotic, pretty crazy, and there's a lot of interesting dynamics that can be, you can get some good insight on it. So let's get right into it. All right, we're picking it up right at like 9 minutes, and you can see that there's a attack on the left side, and this kind of triggers the yellow jersey, which is the overall series leader, to try and go for an attack, because it's kind of a preem lap this lap, which is for points, which we don't know until we're going through right now. So it's kind of lucky for him that he's already getting off the front, and lucky for me that I'm able to get a good toe off this guy, get a good little draft, try and make it back up to the yellow jersey so he doesn't get more points on me, because currently I'm in 3rd place and pretty close to his lead. So I put in a good little effort here to try and get up to him. This course is pretty interesting. This like big fast downhill lets you carry a lot of speed into corner 2, and it's a little bit of hills too on this back side. So I make my way right up to the back of his wheel and kind of just like settle in. He tries to keep the speed pretty fast, stay on this guy's wheel, and yeah, it just stays pretty quick all the way through this intermediate. The way that these intermediates work, they just give points. So that's just how all the overall works. You get points for finishing position and in these intermediate sprints, and you can see that he's leading out pretty hard. We're going pretty quick to this backside, and he's giving me the perfect lead out for this intermediate. So I stay in his draft for a little bit and then come out so that I can try and beat him to the line, and I take it pretty easily. But he doesn't even get 2nd place points. First gets 5 points, 2nd place gets 3 points. I got the full 5 points, and actually 2nd place got 2nd place on this intermediate sprint. So he got the 3rd point, 3 points. So I made ground on both 1st place and 2nd place, but not too much, because 2nd place still made up some points. But I try and just keep rolling this, because I get a little bit of a gap. I just kind of surge it through the sprint. I'm not going too hard right now. I'm just kind of keeping it, like, if I'm off the front easy, I can be off the front easy. In hindsight, maybe it could have gone a little bit harder, but this guy comes up on me, and we still have a little bit of a gap. So I decided to hop on his wheel, and we just kind of try and do a couple turns. But right when it gets to my turn, another guy catches us, and this is the green points jersey. So the green jersey is the if you lead a lap, then that's 1 point. So it's different than the overall, because you get points for laps instead of points for finishing or stuff like that. So that's what the green jersey is. And actually he's the 1st place, and he actually had only like 3 more points than me. So I try and do like a little sneaky here and just try and, he's going for the points, and I just go up on him and take the last point so that I can try and claw back a little bit of his lead. So I'm trying to go for both jerseys right now. He's complaining because he wanted those points, but nonetheless, it's all up for grabs. It's bike racing. We can skip on to the next, to about 15 minutes in, and we have a little attack going off the front, and you can see a couple guys going off. This is the beginnings of the breakaway, and you can see it going off. A couple guys, in that left-hand side of the screen. they're getting a little bit of a gap. The group's still going pretty fast, so it's going to be hard for them to get away at this point. But they're pretty committed. They stay on the gas, and everybody's kind of bunching up here, and that's when you can tell that it's getting slow. Everybody's not really. Some of the guys are not willing to commit. And this is where I make one of the crucial mistakes. I just stay on the yellow jersey's wheel too long. Instead of actually focusing on the race ahead, I focus on the overall, which is, there's two races, right? The overall and the stage, kind of, as a big picture. And I think focus too much on this yellow jersey battle instead of what I actually should have been focusing on, which was the stage, because the stage gives you a lot more points than compared to like just trying to get a couple more points than your yellow jersey competitors. So yeah, I kind of let those guys go up the road, and then later on, about 17 minutes, you can see another group kind of get off the front there, or another one guy kind of trying to solo bridge. And yeah, it's just kind of like that. It kind of trickled out, and I didn't expect all these solos to kind of all come together to perform the breakaway. And then about 20 minutes in, you see this blue jersey on the right taking out the flyer, and he's actually chasing the California state champ in the Masters. So he's going off the front. They're both going off the front and trying to catch that breakaway. And I'm like pinching myself that I didn't actually chase this, because we'll come up on it like right here. They actually don't have that much of a lead right now. They only are like about 5 to 10 seconds. I guess 5 to 10 seconds is a big margin, but it's like you can see them right up the road. That's the breakaway right in front of us. So if someone was able to bridge that, or say I was able to bridge that, then you're in the main breakaway, and maybe it wouldn't be the breakaway that wins. Maybe it's the field sprint or something. But yeah, just kind of unfortunate that I was kind of too focused on the yellow jersey instead of the stage win. So we can skip ahead. The breakaway eventually stays away, and we'll skip to where I'm kind of trying to bring the breakaway back. I'm putting a little bit of an effort on the front, but you can kind of, so like as people start to pull through, then there's just like attacks, like, and it's just like, it doesn't make much sense. Like, you're trying to keep the pace high, so that's why you would attack, but when people are rolling through, then it's better to roll through than it is to attack and try and keep the pace high, I think, if that makes sense. So basically you want to keep the pace high by keeping consistent speed by everybody rolling through instead of attacking. When you're attacking, you're constantly surging and bringing the pace higher and higher. So this was like not very helpful. These guys eventually get brought back because the break is like getting like more and more time on us like every time we do this. So that's why I was trying to create more cohesion in the group and try and be on the front, but it ended up not working very well, and I just kind of leave the breakaway to be the breakaway and just try and get as many points in the field sprint as I can. But there's one more key point that we can kind of talk about at 44 minutes in. So 44 minutes in, I'm up towards the front, just kind of surfing wheels, trying to stay up. This is about 2 laps to go, or we're coming through to have 2 laps to go, and so we're just kind of cruising in, just trying to not get lapped by the breakaway, basically. And this is where the guys that don't have a huge sprint can try and create something and go off the front. And it's kind of where I make my mistake of the day, like the biggest mistake of the day besides missing the breakaway. So I get onto the Subaru wheels, the Subaru wheel guy, and we're just kind of pulling through the start finish. He pulls off to the right, and the hitman, he's like all right, I'm just gonna absolutely smash it. So I try and get up to the wheel, but he's absolutely smashing on the pedals and trying to get away. So I do my best to try and get up to him, but he just keeps getting a gap on me for every second, and it's just like, it's frustrating that and I'm just like putting so much power in the pedals, but you know, he's doing a good job of getting away. Especially with 2 laps to go, you just need to burn all your matches, and I'm kind of not doing enough to be, you know, where I am. Like, I should be either committing to this or dropping back and doing 0 watts to get back into the group. And it's kind of like I'm kind of doing in between. I'm doing like threshold to try and just, you know, be where I am, which is not the way to go, I think. So yeah, I'm just kind of using a lot of power just to like do nothing, basically. Like, you can see that he's getting up further and further ahead, and then there's going to be someone right here. You hear him say up, and he's like trying to get me to get onto his wheel, which would have been a good wheel to follow in hindsight, but hindsight's 2020. I ended up just being like, I think the field's going to be faster than you in the end, because we're coming through to 1 lap to go. So I just kind of say, all right, I'm going to trust the field to kind of pick up the speed, and you know, I'm pretty spent at this point. Just trying to, you know, keep it all together for the field sprint, basically. But you can see that it's like very chaotic. Nobody's really like, there's, you know, really tired guys up here, and there's, you know, always attacks flying, and yeah, so with 1 lap to go, it's kind of, you know, people are trying to keep it fast and keep it smooth so there's no crashes. And luckily there's no crashes as far as I know today in this field, so that was pretty good. But I see, so this guy ahead of me right now is actually 2nd place in the overall. So I think this is a perfect wheel to be on. This is like a crucial wheel to be on, because if I can get ahead of him, then I'm gaining points in the overall. So I just try and keep this position, just trying to hold the wheel, do the best I can. I think in the end, I think I have I could have a better sprint than him if I, you know, come out behind him. So we've already seen that. So we'll just see how this goes. I'm just trying to hold the wheel. It's, you know, staying pretty quick. Everybody's kind of going hard through these last couple corners, and then so I'm on the wheel, and I get pushed off to the right side because there's a guy on the inside, and just, it was very silly that he kind of dove the inside like that. I still sprint and get like 11th place or something, which is not bad but not great. My competitor gains a lot of points, critical points on me, which is you know, kind of frustrating, and wasn't my favorite moment, but it was still a very fun race, and glad I could be part of it, and had a lot of key takeaways from it, so that I really had to race forward and all those type of things. So we'll see you at the next one. Thank you.